Daily Caller! Daily Caller! Daily Caller! Shame on you! Shame on you!
2018 was a pretty big year for me. I would say it was probably a very big year for you too.
Yes, it was.
And although we have different jobs, we both end up at protests, man on the street type deals. We're really out there getting the story. A lot of people think it's really easy to get stories, but it's not. You need to be out there talking to people to really get a grasp on what's going on, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think back this whole year, all of the places that I went to, the people that I talked to, and I have some pretty interesting stories. I think you do too. And we both have interesting stories from some of the same events. And one that comes to mind, one of the biggest ones, was the Kavanaugh protests.
Oh yeah.
One at the Senate Hart Building. It was, I would call it a fantastic event. And what inspired me to actually go to the protest was I saw on Twitter you were there and you were talking about portly protesters. So tell us about that.
So there was a group of what we call now the portly protesters, who were there. They were anti-Kavanaugh protesters who were there, kind of bombarding Senator Chuck Grassley's office that day for whatever reason. He is the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. So they decided they would pick on, Mr. Senator Grassley. So I happened to walk over to the office. I walk in, and there is about, I want to say, 20 to 30 portly, to put it one way, protesters sitting around this office eating sandwich platters, cookies, pizza.
I love Twitter.
What I'm opening right now.
Does anyone else want vegan? I know.
And that's when I look to my left and I see you.
Oh yeah.
Kind of doing your own thing. I think you brought them a present.
Yeah, I rolled in with a giant platter of cookies. And we set up a little secret camera to see if they would still want to eat cookies after eating all of that food that they already had. So of course they did, and it was great, and we have video of it. Richie from the Daily Caller went out and bought cookies, and I just had this giant tray, and Guillaume and I, we walked in with the cookies. I set them on a bench that was there, and just people came in like vultures. They were just like ripping the plastic apart, getting into the cookies, and the cookies were delicious. I had one too. But yeah, we did set a little
I did see you from afar, and I was like, is that Stephanie over there? And does she have a platter of cookies? And they did swarm. I mean, they swarmed like vultures.
There were a lot of characters there, and some people that you would start to recognize. And there was one guy that you had seen many times at other protests, and this time he was pretty dressed up.
I think he might have been like an organizer, was my take on that guy. He got his suit from Goodwill or somewhere. It was a little raggedy. You could tell he wasn't looking too sharp. But he decided, usually when you see this guy, he's looking like a trash bag. So, I mean, when you see him in a suit,
A trash bag?
when you see him in a suit, I was just like, wow, this guy looks completely different.
But it was a white suit. Like, it looked like he was actually going to prom.
Right, and that's why I kind of made the Goodwill or like joke like that. But I do think he was an organizer because of the way he was kind of guiding people that day with his suit, and nobody else was wearing a suit, by the way. Nobody else was wearing a suit, so why is he wearing a suit?
But then I actually asked him some questions why he was there, and then he went into this bizarre rant. We have video of it.
Let me tell you what Trump is. Trump is just what the dictionary say, a low down dirty nigga. Oh, you got a white nigga in the White House. You have a white nigga in the White House. That's what Trump is. And he's trying to push his name.
I'm telling you, that was probably one of the strangest things I've ever seen, but you were saying that they were really just there for their paycheck and the pizza.
Yeah, I mean, because they were.
But I don't know if at the end of this video, this lady comes over and drags him away because she doesn't want him to keep talking to us.
And says, do not talk to him. Do not talk to these guys. Do not talk to him. He was on his like fourth slice of pizza in the video, folks.
And clearly he didn't really know why he was there.
I had no idea.
It was a little bit more about the pizza than Kavanaugh, if you will. Next, one of my other favorite ones was, you did not attend this event. I was there. It was an immigration protest. It was very hot outside. I think it must have been like 90 degrees with 100% humidity. it was a very sunny day. I was very dehydrated. I was had talked to a bunch of people to see why they felt the way that they did when they were protesting Trump's immigration policies. And I really got, a good understanding on what was going on the other side. On my way out, this woman recognized me and she just started going on this really crazy unhinged rant, and we have video of it.
Daily caller, daily caller, daily caller. Shame on you, shame on you, shame on you, shame on you.
Daughter of an immigrant.
I don't care.
I'm just out here recording.
I got Native American skin, so.
I'm just out here recording.
So you work for Daily Caller.
I have the
you
right
work
to
for
be
the other side.
I have
You too. Got a vasectomy.
The signs are incredible.
Have you had your tubes tied?
No one
Tolerance
is
and
illegal.
love. Tolerance and love.
Have you had your tubes tied?
Tolerance
Do
and
not
love.
Planned
put
Parenthood will
children
take care
in
of
the
that for you, lady.
trash.
I'll put
These
you in the
signs are
trash.
perfect.
Have you? Let's put your nuts in the trash. How about that? Have you had a vasectomy?
Compassion on American values. I'm just reading the signs.
Hypocrite, hypocrite, hypocrite. Want some of those? You want some of those? Is that what you're looking for? Is that what you want, honey? Is that what you want? You.
And then she threatened to show her boobs, which was probably the scariest thing I've ever experienced. Daily caller, daily caller. Shame on you, shame on you. This was, I think, in the first few months that I started working at the Daily Caller, and I was just like, "What in the world?"
I remember
just happened here?
I remember seeing that video and just being like, "I'm so sorry, Steph."
I'm gonna put your nuts in the trash.
I was like, "I'm so sorry, Steph. I'm sorry you had to deal with that." Because these people are literally crazy, folks.
So, I mean, she actually had foam coming out of her mouth. And so people always say that like liberals are foaming at the mouth. Like, this actually happened. You can't make this stuff up.
No. If you think we're lying, rewatch the video again. You will see the foam coming out of her mouth.
How many times did you watch my video? Because that was a good video.
It was. I mean, I watch all of your videos way too many times.
Yeah, see, I don't like to be like the center focal point of a story, and I don't really like to troll people. I mean, but this stuff just kind of happens when you're out in the field.
That's one you have to rewatch, folks.
So, Henry, in 2018, we had a lot of run-ins with Antifa, and I would see you at the events, you would see me, and we were both doing our own thing. Although I seem to fit in a little bit better at these events than you did. I don't feel like I really stand out at these events.
Okay.
Why? Because I'm a minority and I'm a female. Now, you, on the other hand, are exactly what they really despise. White male, and then you dress up like you're going boating or yachting or like in a suit. I mean, they don't like that.
I don't know why.
And they know you. Everyone in DC knows you, and we were going to these DC
I'm
protests.
trying to make myself look good for these people, you know?
So you
be respectful.
You'd get a little roughed up. So I would escape these events with no scratches, no bruises, all of my items intact, unless of course you stole my umbrella.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm actually down an umbrella thanks to Henry Rogers.
I still owe her.
I was nice enough to lend him my umbrella.
Antifa owes her an umbrella.
Yeah,
not me.
Antifa does because they went and just kind of roughed you up. What happened?
So we were covering a protest for the Unite the Right rally, which is a group of white supremacists. It ended up being like 3 of them. Who were faced off against this anti-fascist group, Antifa. And I remember we were thinking that, this was going to kind of be like another Charlottesville, kind of a war between 2 sides in front of the White House. But what ended up happening was maybe 3 to 5 white supremacists showed up compared to the hundreds of anti-fascist protesters that were there.
Yeah.
And they kind of got bored. The fascists, they let the white supremacists, they left. The anti-fascist Antifa, they stayed around, and they were like, you know what, we're bored. Let's go mess the streets up. So they turn around and they just head down K Street and just start destroying everything possible, and start attacking reporters. If you watch this video, you'll see me get mauled by a group of Antifa.
Yeah, we have video of it.
The thugs discovered Henry Rogers is a member of the conservative media. Watch this footage as Antifa members swarm the Daily Caller reporter, then continue to chase him down the street. Take a look.
Let's go! Let's go!
So that's him there in the umbrella. They take it away from him, steal it, and then start to chase him down the street. Truthfully, I'd be very fearful for my well-being and, of course, my safety.
So as I said, they know me, I know them. I was trying to have a friendly conversation with a couple members of the anti-fascist group. And that's when one of them came out of nowhere with the mask on, obviously, because they only do this stuff with masks on, and smashes the phone out of my hand, hits the concrete, which makes me go down, reach for the phone. I have an umbrella on the other hand. They rip the umbrella out of the other hand. And in this video that was captured, you can see
My umbrella, by the way. My umbrella.
You can see Steph's umbrella.
I want my umbrella back. Or a new one.
Destroyed. As well as many other vehicles, and the entire city of DC was like a utter chaos zone that day. So that was one interesting protest of 2018 for sure.
I came up with this idea to see if people would rather date a Trump supporter or an MS-13 gang member. I didn't actually think anyone would tell me that they would want to date an MS-13 gang member, but I know that DC liberals really hate Trump supporters.
Yep.
So, I mean, this was, you think it'd be like a really tough decision, it'd be a hard one for them to answer, but most of them just went straight in for MS-13 gang members. I mean, it's really mind-boggling. Watch.
Gang member. Give me the gang member!
So I'm gonna go MS-13. Yeah, probably MS-13 member.
MS-13.
MS-13.
All the way.
Again, these people will rape and kill, and they're all awful people. There's not, you can't be like, pick one MS-13 who's a good person. Sorry, to anybody out there who's offended by that.
Are you really sorry though?
No, it's actually outrageous. It's completely crazy.
So Henry, this is a protest I didn't attend. It was a climate change protest in Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi's office.
Correct. I remember that one. It actually is kind of confusing. They all kind of blur together now because you always see the same people and they're always doing the same thing.
But clearly, they're not paid or anything.
No,
Just all
no,
of them
no.
have no problems getting time off of work.
It was just a random Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and this group had to. But no, so I would say about 100 protesters. It ended up being over that, but I saw about 100 originally kind of storming towards Pelosi's office, where they proceeded, and this is like a group of liberal protesters going to like the most liberal woman's office to have a conversation with her. But it ended up like getting out of hand. They sat down on her floor like they did in Grassley's office, which I thought was interesting because I was like, I didn't think you guys picked on your own party like that. But they seemed to. And they ended up, what I thought was most interesting about this protest is over 100 people got arrested, but they all had these signs. And it's a kind of a reoccurring theme, but the signs end up always being left outside on the ground.
Oh.
So this is like a climate change, environmental protest group and all this stuff.
You're telling me that they didn't even bother to recycle their signs after their climate change protest?
And they litter all over the place. There's like hundreds of signs flooded.
Messy climate change protesters.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, that's quite a scam.
It's ridiculous.
One of my other favorite stories from 2018 was actually another man on the street. I went to a college campus and I talked to students to see what they thought about Hillary Clinton's racist remarks, where she jokingly said that all black people look the same when she was referring to Senator Cory Booker and former Attorney General Eric Holder.
What do you think about him saying kick them in the shins, essentially? Start to get to that kind of political.
Well, that was Eric Holder.
Yeah, Eric Holder,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know they all look alike.
No, they don't. Oh, well done.
Students thought it was very racist, but only because I told them Trump said it. Then I told them it actually wasn't Trump, it was Hillary Clinton, so I did the old bait and switch, and this is what they had to say.
I don't know what's more racist, mixing them up or laughing about it.
Racist. It's incredibly racist. That's just it.
That's not sarcasm, that is straight racism.
What if I told you it was Hillary Clinton? Is it still racist?
Yeah, it still is.
It still is.
It was actually Hillary Clinton who said they all look the same. Does that change your opinion?
No, I still think it's really racist.
The reactions on their faces when you said that stuff.
Well, because you know that they wanted to defend Hillary Clinton, but it was too late.
No, there's nothing they could do at that point. And they had probably all voted for her too, so they were just like, what do I do?
It is racist, I guess, if she did say it.
It had to have been racist, I guess.
Oh,
but
we were
it's
forced to
like,
vote
what do you mean
for
you
it?
guessed? It's
Yeah.
like, that was extremely racist.
Extremely
Imagine
racist.
if Trump had said that, like you were just saying. Imagine if Trump had said that, anything like that in his past.
Well, but they'll tell you, oh, well, he's not well, she's not president.
Right.
And he is.
Okay.
Okay, right. So all in all, 2018 was a pretty big year for both of us. We experienced a lot of things. We talked to a lot of people. It was pretty, it was incredible.
It was very incredible. Historic was what the word I was using earlier. I believe it was also hectic and crazy, and it gave us a really good perspective as to what we can expect in 2019, I think. I think in 2019, there's going to be a lot of gridlock and a lot more protests.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll both be out there.
For sure.
Doing our thing and remembering and collecting these stories for next year so then we can talk about the best of 2019. Thank you for watching and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.